What's going on, Oasis?
Man, I hope it's been just a great time. It's going into a new week, man. It's like getting into the beginning of June it's like the real settledness of like, okay, what is really happening, going on with the family, and all the things that kind of go into, man, us just paying attention to life and paying attention to our days and weeks, man. So hope you're at a moment in the season where you get to enjoy some good celebration time of like, it's just the fam. I know next week my brother's coming in town, so we're like all the cousins that take over Pops' house, and we'll see what doesn't get broke.
Yeah, that's happening, huh? I was talking to Pastor Bradley earlier like there are 2 months that, well, 1 month I just don't love. February, I just don't love it. It's no fun to go outside. It's awful. It's either hot, it's cold, it's definitely windy, yada, yada, right? I just don't love it. And then my favorite holidays, and I'm just kidding about that part, is in that month. But then May, I have a love-hate relationship with May. I do. I love it. It's getting warm. It's one of my favorite times of the year in student ministry.
And it's busy.
But it's so busy, and there's no real rhyme or reason. It's just you just know it's coming, right?
It's like gambling.
It is. It is. What's it going to look like? What's youth going to look like? What is Tuesday going to look? I don't know. I have no clue. And you can't really plan for it except for planning. May will be dumb.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it except just endure it and have fun and the stories and everything. Yeah. And then when it's done, it's summer, and you're just kind of thinking, when did that happen?
Yeah.
Which actually happened in the last week and a half. It's all the dust settles, boom, it's summer. And
what are we doing?
Wait, when did that happen? I walk into my house and I see my oldest son. He's sitting there. I see the remnants of him, and I'm like, why are you home? And then it dawns on me, it's because he's out of school. Now he's really out of school, so this summer is really different.
He's done.
Yeah. And so now I kind of walk in, I look at him, and I love him deeply. Don't get me wrong, but now I walk in and I see him, and I'm like, why are you still here? And so don't tell Christy that, though. So funny thing, by the way, this happened to me this morning. I got up to go work out, and it was about 6:15 this morning. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those overachievers that gets up that early and, to go work out. I'm just trying to find the light switch a little bit in my head. And so I'm sitting there, and a friend of mine sends me this text, happy birthday. And I'm reading it, and this friend, I'm like, she knows my birthday is not today. She knows that, right? But then in my head, I'm like, she got that from somewhere, right? Somewhere it's posted that it's my birthday. And at first I thought maybe this is one of those funny jokes that somebody's posting, and like when you go into a restaurant and you sell somebody else out, like you go tell the server, hey, it's Ben's birthday.
Yeah.
And they come and they make a scene. If you wanted to lose me as a friend or have me maybe, like, I would endure it and not make a scene, but we are not okay if you did that to me, And I thought, well, maybe somebody did that. And then I get looking around on Facebook, and for some reason, it had to have been me. It's not like that's what hackers would do, is get in there and change everybody's birthday, although that would be funny. My birthday was today. And people are sending me text messages and everything. And I thought, this is a brilliant joke. This is a great joke, but this is not my birthday. So I had to post on there. Well, how bizarre is that, right?
It's pretty strange.
And I'm like, folks, a majority of you that are sending me text messages, I think they were doing it on purpose, because within that.
They're like, oh, someone's messing with Donnie.
Yeah, somebody's messing with Donnie. Like, this is a wide open situation, because I know you sent me messages I was in Africa this year, and, so it was a little bit unique, and I remember responding to everything. And also talking to some of these individuals about my birthday. So, deja vu. But don't get me wrong, I did post it on social media as well, that, to kind of fix this situation. But if anybody has a gift for me in Missouri, don't return that.
That door's always open.
Yeah, it's always open. You just want to buy me something, you feel free to do so. So today, am I going first? Is that what we decided? So today, what I have for us is actually the opposite of probably apparently what excited as I'm getting. It is be still and know that I am God. And this is a passage that we've all seen.
It's on your wall.
It's on your wall. Yeah, that's a good call, Ben. It's on your wall. You probably bought the decal for it. Definitely posted that on social media, and it comes from that particular one comes from Psalm 46, verse 10. We'll go ahead and read 11 because it adds to that. It's not just a standalone verse, which no real verse is, but it says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." Verse 11, "The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress." And, be still and know that I am God. That looks phenomenal on a shirt, but there's a lot that goes into it. And the reason is, it's the second part of that, I, God, will be exalted. Right? So there's a reason why he says, calm down. Right? And in that, he's saying, settle down. I'm going to be exalted. There's a point that's going on. I am still moving, right? So we take this statement and you slam it into the New Testament, and you have in Mark 4:39, and you have this account of Jesus. He's standing in this boat. It's been a long day of ministry, everything that's going on, and Jesus stands up and he says, "Be still," right? Except he doesn't say, it's not, be still. It's be still. And so what I told you before, you think of that, that's kind of road trip when you're talking to the kids in the back seat. That is not negotiating with the back seat. That is not turning around and being like, "Guys, be still, settle down." It's death is on the horizon. Right? Hush, it's be quiet. If I have to pull over, we're going to arrive with less people. And both of those sentiments, though, in both of those situations, you have, be still, know that I am God, I will be exalted. There is something that is moving here. And as Jesus is saying this, be still, he's talking to waves, he's talking to the disciples, he's talking to everything that's going on, be still. There's a lot of things that are going on. And so why be still in the presence of the Lord? Whether it's hush or whether it's be still, settle down, calm down. And I think at the end of the day, the reason is because the Lord is teaching us something, and he wants us in a position where we will be in a place where we can receive what he is about to give us. The wisdom, the grace, the knowledge, see a situation for what it is. This is not, I don't want to make this sound like this is any kind of health or wealth or anything like that. It's God is trying to speak to us, and it would be to our benefit to settle down and receive that. And if we are going to receive that, again, back to Psalm, it is not just for our benefit, it is for his glory. He will be glorified in all things. So settle down, take on what I have for you. It is for my glory and to your benefit. Settle down, right? Here's where we come into problems, have issues. That takes an amazing amount of patience and practice to be able to settle down and to listen. I mean, you think about your own kids, I think about my kids, I think about as we walk around the church and we see, it happened yesterday. I was walking down the nursery hall and little dude was losing it. And his mom just looked at me and said, "It's been a good day." And
2 hours in.
Yeah, 2 hours in. And in that situation, that's exactly right, is, some days it just takes more practice to just be still and see and be in a place where we are ready to receive from God. And so that would be my encouragement for maybe all of us, is taking a moment, whether we are being told to hush or whether we're being told, calm down, I'm in charge, settle down. This nice, gentle voice is stop and focus on what the Lord is bringing us, what he is saying to us and how he is guiding us. It is for his name's sake that he is doing that. So get that through all of our skulls. It is for his name's sake that he is talking to us, that he is correcting us, that he is teaching us. but it is to our benefit. So it is to our benefit to focus and to listen and to find ourselves and force ourselves into a position where, God, I want to listen. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to see where you're moving. I want to see where you're going. I know, I do. I get it. We're United States citizens, man. I get it, and we run on a schedule, and we run full tilt.
Yeah.
I get that. But busyness, hurriedness, we're addicted to that, and that gets in the way.
Yeah.
So it is to our benefit sometimes to it is to our benefit to stop and listen and focus. Focus on what the Lord is doing. So,
yeah. And to that regard of when it's time to move, we move, and where I'm going to go is beginning of Joshua. We've announced we're getting to our 50th year. The celebration's coming up this fall. And I just want to take a moment to just kind of get ourselves in the mindset of like, what are we paying attention to? As Moses died and Joshua assumed command, in the first chapter, they're camped out, they're at a spot, and Joshua sends word to his generals, his commanders, says, hey, go through the people. We're going to camp here for 3 days, and then we're going to cross the Jordan. And then we're going to assume the land that God is going to give us, has given us, has promised us. But before that, there is one instance I want to pay attention to, and it's in chapter 4. We got to get all through this. Like the preparation is 1 all the way up to chapter 4, and there's the last instruction that God gives to Joshua, and it's right before the first 4 verses, actually 5 verses. It says, "And when all the nation had finished passing over the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, take 12 men from the people, and from each tribe a man, and command them, saying, take 12 stones from here out of the midst of the Jordan, from the very place where the priest's feet stood firmly, and bring them over with you, and lay them down in the place where you are lodging tonight." And then Joshua called the 12 men from the people of Israel, and whom they had appointed, a man from each tribe. And Joshua said to them, pass on before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of the Jordan, and take up each of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of tribes of the people of Israel. In this moment, let's pay attention to this one spot. It says, before the Ark of the Covenant goes, you 12 guys, go and get a stone. And I would say it's probably more of a boulder, because he says, put this upon your shoulder. It's not just something like you're carrying here and it's kind of, no, he says, put it on your shoulder. Of like, man, it's going to be a memorable effort, right? But I think it's interesting that, one, they went before the Ark of the Covenant. And I think this speaks into the point of like, this is God saying, I'm going to push you in such a way and give you the steps in such a way that you're going to plan for the future of the generation coming up behind you. And when that happens, we can't be slacked about it. Because I think a lot of times we're excited about the idea of the up and coming generation. We're always having that statement said to them, our generation was a generation, you can be whatever you want. And then there's a little bit of reality of like, no, you can't. No, you can't. And, but not to downplay it, but at this point, God gave him the instructions of tonight. You set that memorial up tonight, where you're going to lodge. Because when they go and across a river, I don't know if you've ever watched kind of the old country westerns when they're the Oregon Trail crossing the river, like what we think of like going down Palo Duro Canyon and crossing over the water crossings. Not quite the same. When you think about a wagon being almost submerged into a river, and your horse and cat and all of that, like, no, this is let's pay attention. One, God took care of it. Here's a smooth path. But on the other hand of it, they were mentally preparing for it. But even though Joshua gave them the sign of like, this is how you know that the Lord is with you. There's going to be smooth ground. There's going to be dry ground to go across. But set it up tonight. For me, when I kind of fast forward a little bit, they've gone through, they've set it up, they were commanded to be mindful of the future. They commanded to build that structure that night. They probably built that structure pretty close to the river. Yes, maybe where they camped, the edge of it. But that means to me when the next generation comes along, it was in such a place where it painted the picture of the magnitude of the might, the action that it took for God to stop the river. And our people came across dry ground. Like, man, does that not build an enticement of creativity and strength and power of this is the God we follow? And that's the encouragement. So as we go into this 50th, I hope that you're paying attention to the stones that you need to pick up to help remind and help encourage the generation that is behind you, or what stone you did pick up. Maybe you need to be reminded of the encouragement that you were and have had with the generation that is after you or hasn't come yet, whatever it is. But each one of us have a moment, have an opportunity to instill encouragement of this is what God has done. And so, man, I hope you're excited to help celebrate 50 years with us. It's going to be a great run up into the pinnacle point of the weekend. But, man, if anything, pay attention to the boulders that God's saying, hey, pick that up. Pick that up, because someone behind you needs to see that and be reminded and to know that I am God.
Yeah, man, I think that's a great call. And that's a good charge to us. Like what God has really just revealed to you in that. And I think to us, man, just taking that, again, it's that intention, it's being intentional and picking those up. I love that idea of, what was the scripture? I can't remember. It's New Testament, and we're told, and be thankful, right? And I think that's a part of what we get to lead into the 50th is, man, be thankful. This church has existed. Be thankful that this body has impacted so many lives. That's impacting our lives now. Be thankful that the Lord is moving. Mm-hmm. And that's a very intentional thing. Yeah. That is making a choice to, I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to show everybody around me what this is and what this was in my life and what it is in my life. And I will tell you this, put it out there for all of the interwebs, just student ministry. You see it in college ministry. I think one of the worst things in the world is the disconnect that at some point in time, it seems like there's a point in everybody's life where they age out of passing on the knowledge. You just kind of onboard it and you just hang out and you do your thing. And I get that. I understand why it happens. It just needs to not happen. Yeah. It's just passing on to, and it's bigger than when I was your age. When I was your age, I was doing that too, and this is how the Lord spoke to me. I mean, there's some wisdom that came from that. Yeah. When my world fell apart, this is how God put this back together.
It's amazing how that perspective is different than when I was your age, but it's almost like a warning of this is going to be amazing for you.
Yeah.
Build up that energy in that next generation. Like, it's coming. Yeah,
it's coming. Yeah, well, and the Lord is always faithful, and so I think when we go into the 50th. It is not only just we've made it this long. Let's talk about what this joint looks like in 50 years from now. What's the legacy then? And we're excited about that. So, guys, we love you and appreciate being a part of your day and your week. So we hope that you have a good one, and just begin to pray for the 50th and pray for some peace. Be still. Sometimes we just need to be told, hush. And we deserve it. So, love you guys.
We'll see you.